For most of your life, you were forced to go to school for 7 hours a day to learn something you weren't interested about, at times you didn't want to learn about, and with guys you barely even like. And I'm not going to waste your time in this video. I'm going to go straight into the first point. You actually have to be interested to learn. Because if you're not interested to learn about something, you're going to end up not learning about it. If you're actually interested about it, you're going to want to learn about it and actually learn from it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're in English class back in high school, back in secondary school, whatever, and you're learning about the history, the World War One. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, but your attention span was probably shit back then. So if you were not interested, you were literally just mind wandering, thinking about your crush, freaking daydreaming, I don't know what, all of that, you would have not paid attention in class. Now compare that to now, where you want to improve your life, and that's literally like your goal in life, just improve your life and learn how to actually learn. You're actually interested in these stuff, right? So you're gonna actually benefit from these kinds of videos where you're actually gonna learn something from, since you're actually interested to learn about it. So how does this look like in a practical sense? Well, let's say you're reading a book about the 48 laws of power, and halfway through the book you're kind of like losing the interest in it. You're like, yeah, it's kind of good, but like I want to read this other book. Just read the other book. Because if you're not interested in continuing the other half of the 48 laws of power, you're not going to benefit from the book. Now let's say you're going to learn read The Way of the Superior Man, and you want to read that at that exact moment, then go read The Way of the Superior Man, because you're going to end up learning more from The Way of the Superior Man than you're from the 48 laws of power that you're not interested in learning about right now, compared to the Way of the Superior Man that you're actually going to learn since you're interested about. And you can apply this to YouTube. So let's say you're watching a podcast from Andrew Huberman about sleep, and you're kind of losing the interest in halfway. You're like, yeah, I already have good sleep, and this video is not really helping me. Don't force yourself to read a book or watch a podcast that you're not interested in. If you're interested in watching another podcast, then go watch the other podcast. Maybe you're interested about motivation, so go watch Andrew Huberman podcast about motivation rather than sleep that you're not interested, but you force yourself to watch because it's productive. Don't force yourself to do things you don't want to do. The most important thing you need to realize is the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule basically states that 20% of your results come from 80% of your actions, and 20% of your actions give 80% of the results. So focus on the important stuff. Don't watch a sleep podcast from Andrew Huberman if your sleep is already good enough. Instead, watch how to actually become more productive, because that's what's going to actually help you become more productive and better at business, at learning, and all of these things. You need to focus on what's actually going to help you, on what you need to learn about. So your sleep is probably good enough already. So don't force yourself to watch sleep podcasts even though your sleep is already good enough. Like, yeah, you can improve by like 1% there and there, but like you can improve your learning ability by like 100 times by just watching a podcast about it. So what would you rather do? Watch a sleep video that can improve your sleep by 1%, or watch a podcast that's going to improve by 100 times? Well, the answer is pretty clear, but you probably don't really think about this in the moment. So just keep this in mind about like the 80-20 rule. Really think to yourself, what is something right now that I can read, watch, or that I'm going to do that's the 20% that's gonna give the 20% that's gonna give me 80% of the actions? What is something that I'm interested in and that's actually gonna give me a lot of the results? So it could be improving your mental health, productivity, and if you don't have a good sleep, then obviously sleep would probably be a good one. But I would say productivity is probably a really good one, because with productivity you can make more progress in life, with like business, studies, or whatever you're focusing on. Something that you can do right now is start watching videos at a 1.25 speed rate rather than the normal 1 times speed. So you can go down to the right of a video, and there should be like a little cog icon. You click on it, and then you go to play speed, and you click on 1.25. What that basically does is going to speed up the video by like 1.25, and you're going to end up being able to watch long podcasts and watch videos like this a little bit faster, which saves you time. Because when you're watching at 1 times, it's good, But when you're watching at 1.25, you can learn faster because you're not just like waiting for them to speak. You kind of just get everything quite quicker, which you can try it out in this video. So click on the cog icon, put this video at 1.25 speed and see how it goes. But it's just something that you can do right now that you can learn faster, and that I've done for literally most of my life. Well, not for most of my life, for most of this month. And I can say it's pretty beneficial because I've saved quite a bit of time. Because imagine you're watching a 10-minute video and now you watch it at 1.25 speed. Now that video is only going to be 9 minutes long rather than 10 minutes because of it's faster. Imagine, well, that's 1 minute you save. Now let's say you watch on Tuesday, you watch a long podcast of 3 hours. That would be like a whole 20 minutes saved. So you got 10, 20 minutes, 1 minute, 20 minutes, 1 minute that you're saving. And that's going to compile, obviously. Because let's say you have 20 minutes now, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, and then 61, 70, 80, 90 minutes of your life that you save just by changing the speed rate. It's something that you really need to change. Because it's going to save your time. And you know, as a man, as a young guy, your time is your most important asset. And the last tip I'm going to give you is actually take action in what you learn. So you can watch this video, you can learn all these tactics, but like, if you don't take action and you don't implement this advice into your life, then this video was pointless. I'm wasting my voice for you. If you don't implement the advice I'm going to tell you in this video, then it's pointless. You need to actually start implementing the advice you learn. So actually, let me tell you a quick story about this. So yesterday, actually, I was watching a video on how to get a deeper voice because I wanted to speak better on camera because, well, that's what I need to learn about. That's what I thought I needed to learn about so I can make better YouTube videos, just speak better. So I was watching a video on how to get a deeper voice, and it taught me some tactics of like down talking. So basically, whenever you end a sentence, you end on a deeper note. Whenever you are speaking, speak a little bit slower. And when you're speaking, breathe through your nose rather than your mouth. So instead of going like, you go. So I learned these tactics, and I thought to myself, yeah, I can implement them tomorrow. I'll remember them. But something inside of me was like, I'm not gonna remember them. So as soon as I finished that video, I literally got on my phone and started recording and used the tips that I just learned. And I used them. I noticed really good results. And in this video, you'll probably see me like change my voice slightly. And that's because I'm kind of like remembering the tips, forgetting the tips, remembering the tips, forgetting the tips. And when you can do this, then, because when you actually practice something, when you learn it, you're way more likely to remember it later. Because yeah, you can learn all these tactics, or you can, the 80-20, watch videos at 1.25 rate, but you're probably going to forget when you're watching them. And you're only going to remember them once you like finish the video, which is the worst part. Like, have you ever noticed like, you're doing something and then you remember the most important thing like after you finish it? For example, for me, I've literally recorded videos and then for some reason my brain decides to get the best ideas after I finish recording a video. This is something interesting. So actually implement what you've learned. So to recap everything, just be interested to learn. So don't force yourself to watch a podcast or a book that you don't want to read. Focus on things that are actually going to help you. So the 80-20, the 20% are going to give you 80% of the results. Start watching videos at a faster rate, so 1.25, and eventually you can increase it to 1.5. And actually take action. Actually take action on the advice people give you, so you can actually improve your life. Because you can keep watching videos, but you need to actually take action on your advice. Now, this doesn't mean just literally just like take action. You still have to learn and then take action. But take action when you learn. If you learn something, practice it. If you learn something, just like keep it in your mind and actually try it out. Because when you try it out, you're way more likely to remember it. So, I really hope you benefited from this video. Mwah.